Welcome to another episode of Chasing the Wind. I'm Pastor Mark. Wait a minute. My name is Jeff. And so we are set up today for today's Chasing the Wind. So I've been watching some, I peruse a little bit of Instagram, and sometimes before I go to bed, it just kind of helps me unwind, laughing at some things and getting totally disgusted by others, but that's okay. But there's a thing going on right now. I guess it's I don't know what they call it, but anyway, they'll show a picture of an animal, usually a dog. I got some of German Shorthair Pointers because that's my breed, and it'll be very noble and dignified, and they'll do the voiceover as my name is Maximus Decimus Merideus. Mm-hmm. And then they'll go to the next picture and it'll be a dog, like laying on its back or, chasing its tail or biting its tail or something. And the voiceover will say, my name is Jeff. And the implication is that sometimes we're noble and then there's others that are just kind of not so noble people or situations, dogs, cats, whatever it is they do. I was watching that the other day, and I get a charge of them. Some of them are hilarious, but I was laying there and the Holy Spirit started speaking to me that is us sometimes. I will tell you, there are times I feel like Maximus Decimus Merideus. I feel like a gladiator. I feel like I am a man of great nobility, and I've been talking to a friend of mine about this a little bit. Nobility there's nothing noble about being superior to your fellow man. There is only nobility. True nobility lies in being superior to your former self. That was Hemingway said that, I believe. As nobility is being superior to our former self, not competing with someone else and comparing ourselves. There's days, I'm going to tell you, I feel like Maximus Decimus Merideus, and there's days that I feel very much like a Jeff. My name is Jeff. And here's the thing. Some days it's okay to be a Jeff. Okay? It's okay to have a little fun, to chase your tail, to go play in the snow. I was driving somewhere yesterday and I saw a little Amish kid. He had a sled and he had his little pony, his little miniature horse or pony was hooked up to it. The pony was pulling him around, and the dog was running behind him. It was a great scene. I just loved it. In that sense, I'm not sure whether the little kid was a Maximus Decimus Merideus for coming up with that or whether he was a Jeff. It doesn't matter. But there's times when even, as in our nobility, we can still have some fun. And there's times even in our fun, we can be noble. But I think sometimes that can be taken as, depending on how you view it, that's one way I view that. But there's also another way that sometimes you say, well, being a Jeff is being an idiot. And being a Maximus Decimus Merideus is the better thing to do. And it depends, I like to have fun. And sometimes, I'm a Jeff when I do it. And there's other times I'm Maximus Decimus Merideus. But there's, and I think about this as sometimes we have a society that thinks that, we just don't want to get too uppity. Back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, men used to wear fedoras and nice hats, and men quit doing them, and now it's hard to wear them because the roofs on our cars are so short that we can't wear. You got to take your hat off. But I like wearing hats myself. And sometimes people, if you carry yourself a certain way or you dress nicely, who are you trying to impress or whatever? No, I'm not trying to impress anybody. Maybe I like wearing that. Okay. I love what Jordan Peterson said one time, and I watched it. It was a short video on YouTube. Whether you like him or not, it's irrelevant. He has some good things to say. But there was one, this is the caption of this video. The subject matter said this: you are the image of God. Act like it. Mm. Act like it. And I will tell you, sometimes we don't always act like it. I've probably talked about this before, but it's kind of coming up again with this Maximus Decimus Merideus thing. It's from the Gladiator, by the way, Gladiator movie. Not the new one, the old one, but maybe it'll come up in the new one, I don't know. But there's something I think sometimes we forget. It's just what Jordan Peterson said. We are the image of God. We need to act like it. sometimes we act like we are no different. Yeah, there's times that, Maximus Merideus, Decimus Merideus, he was a warrior. There's times we fight as in the Lord's army. We just go with God. And there's times he says, I need you to stand up for this person. There is a justice issue here, and I want you to stand up for that person, that cause. And there's times that we have dignity, and yes, there's times that I've probably lost my dignity or set it aside or something. So it isn't just about being this barbarian. There was a degree of respect that Maximus earned, and but he also invested in other gladiators. If you've ever seen the movie, other people who had been thrown into this thing to go out and be they were supposed to be the victim, if you will, and not. But of course he would proved himself to be a worthy warrior. But as I think about that situation, I think about from 1 John chapter 3, children of God. Actually, it starts in chapter 2. And now, dear children, continue in him, so that when he appears, we may be confident and unashamed before him at his coming. That is certainly Maximus Decimus Merideus. He is confident and he is unashamed. And I think that's part of what being a gentleman is about. In one sense, it's being comfortable in our own skin. It's saying, this is who I am, and I know whose I am and who I am in the Lord. And then he goes on. He goes, if you know that he is righteous, you know that everyone who does what is right has been born of him. That is Jesus he's talking about. Then he says this, chapter 3, verse 1. How great is the love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God, and that is what we are. Wow. When I stop and think that God, I'm a child of God. I'm a child of God. That means I am royalty. I heard a preacher on Instagram the other day talking about that. He goes, we're royalty. He was talking about language that people use. He goes, if you watch royalty, they do not use foul language, at least in public anyway. Who knows what they do behind the scenes, and we may never know. But, it was very interesting he brought that up. Is that, kings and queens, princes and princesses, they don't really, except for the ones that go wild, they conduct themselves in a way worthy of their calling. And we're to conduct ourselves worthy of a way worthy of our calling. Do we really truly understand that we're children of God? And if we do, how would that change the way we performed or maybe behaved ourselves? It's something we need to really think about, folks. And those moments when you're Jeff, that's okay too. But I was watching something the other day, a video of the Gillies Ball, and I was watching Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip and the whole, but they were at a ball, and they were doing reels up in Scotland, okay? And, you could say, well, they were being Jeff in that moment. They were enjoying life, and everything isn't serious. But yet they had not lost their dignity. They had not forgotten that they were royalty. And may we not forget that we are children of the King and that we are royalty. As an old gospel song says, his royal blood now flows through my veins. Oh yes, I'm a child of the King. May you today know and walk with your head held a little higher, not in pride, in a selfish pride, but knowing in a confidence and an unashamed confidence that we are children of God, and that we have dignity, and we are to conduct ourselves in a way that reflects God well. So I'm going to leave it right there, Wind Chasers. Maximus Decimus Merideus signing off, also known as Pastor Mark, today anyway, with a few little Jeff moments tossed in there. Keep chasing the wind, because the wind is chasing you. I'm Pastor Mark. Grace and peace.